Bathroom Breaks and Bedtime Tales presents The Man Who Stepped Forward by Sevastian. The siren wails like a demon's scream, splitting the morning air. It cuts through the fog that always seems to hang low over Auschwitz, a sour mist that smells of damp brick, boiled cabbage, and old piss. We freeze. Thousands of striped men halt mid-march, spoons paused halfway to chapped lips. No one moves. You learn not to react here. Whistles never mean anything good. The air turns still, heavy. I taste soot in the back of my throat. That smokestack in the east yard hasn't stopped belching since we got here. Not once, not even a night. The guards appear like dogs off leash, screaming, beating. Boots slam on concrete. A klaxon continues blaring, echoing off the wire and stone, and I know, some poor bastard has escaped, and will pay. By noon, we're lined up in rows on the Appelplatz, roll call square. The gravel digs into the soles of my feet through worn, thin boots. Sunlight presses on my back like a weight. I'm sweating, even though it's early April and still cold enough to see our breath. My stomach growls, hollow and angry. No one speaks. That's the rule. Not a word. Not a blink out of place. They keep us standing for hours. One man collapses somewhere behind me. I hear the dull thud and the bark of a rifle butt striking his skull. Then silence again. Eventually, the commandant steps forward, calm, crisp, his uniform still clean. A prisoner has escaped, he says. You will suffer the consequences. His German is too smooth, almost practiced. Like he's done this before, like it's a ritual. 10 men will die. Not may. Not could, will. A tremor crawls up my spine. A guard stalks the front row, then veers left, down the line. He's not picking randomly. He's looking, maybe for weak ones, maybe at nothing at all, maybe he just wants to make it last. The tension is unbearable. You can hear teeth chattering, shallow breathing. Someone behind me whispers a Hail Mary. Someone else vomits quietly into his sleeve. The guard stops, looks a man in the eye. Points, you. The man doesn't cry. He just nods and steps forward, eyes blank, like the light's gone out inside. Then another. You. Then another. I stare straight ahead. Don't breathe. Don't blink. And then, you. His finger jabs the air in front of me. I look up. Me. He doesn't answer, just jerks his chin. I step forward. My legs wobble. The others part slightly to let me pass. My vision goes grey at the edges. The guard writes my number down. I'm number 6. I hear myself say it before I even think. Bitte, Herr Kommandant, I have a wife. Children, please. A murmur goes through the men, soft, rustling, like wind in dead leaves, but no one moves. No one helps. The Commandant frowns. Silence. I drop to my knees. Please, please, my voice cracks. I'm not sobbing yet, but the tears are coming. I see Helena's face. My sons, their eyes too large for their heads, clutching my coat the day I left for the front. That was years ago. It could be yesterday. I taste salt in my mouth, my own sweat or tears or blood. I don't know any more then. Movement. A figure breaks ranks, a slim man in the same striped uniform, head shaved, eyes calm. I would like to take his place, he says, in clear German. Not shouted, not whispered, just said. The world seems to stop. The Commandant squints. Who are you? I am a Catholic priest. My name is Maximilian Kolbe. The silence stretches, taut as wire. The Commandant shrugs. Very well. No debate. No ceremony, just a trade. Kolbe walks to my side. He nods to me, not with pity, but with peace. Like this is exactly what he's supposed to do. The guard waves me back. I hesitate. My legs won't move. I look at him. Why? He smiles, faintly. Live, that's all. I stumble backward, tripping over gravel. Men pull me into the line again, and he walks away. They put them in Block 13, the starvation bunker, a place no one returns from. They seal the door and wait. The first day, I can't speak. My mouth works like I'm chewing air. I try to eat, to drink, to breathe, but everything tastes wrong. My bunkmates stare at me differently. I think they hate me now. I think I hate me now. That night I dream of Colby. He's not suffering in my dreams. He's praying, singing, his voice echoing off stone walls. It sounds like home almost. I wake up choking on a sob. Day 3. The men in the bunker are still alive. We hear reports, rumors, more like. One of the capos tells us the guards are shaken. They aren't screaming, he says. No one's fighting for scraps. They're praying in there. I want to believe it. I want to believe he's strong enough, that he's different. But I know how this place works. Hope is a poison here. Still, I can't stop picturing it. 10 starving men kneeling on the stone floor, hands clasped, whispering psalms into the dark, led by a gaunt priest with eyes like steady flames. And I see myself among them, fading, dying, not him. Day 7. Men begin dying, one by one. Colby survives. The capo says he holds the hands of the dying, closes their eyes, prays over them. No food, no water, just faith. We hear one of the guards refuses to go into the bunker anymore. He looks at you, the guard said, like you're not a goddamn monster. Day 10. Only 4 are left alive. One is Colby. They need the cell emptied for the next punishment, so they send in a doctor. Carbolic acid. The other 3 are too weak to scream when they're injected. Colby sits propped against the wall, too thin to cast a full shadow. His eyes are open. He nods at the doctor, not defiant, not broken, just present. When the needle goes in, he doesn't flinch. He dies like he lived. Quiet, calm, unshaken. The next morning, the capo tells us everything. He was the last one alive, he says. Didn't beg, didn't complain, just prayed. I say nothing. There are no words left in my mouth. That night, I sneak to the wire near Block 13. I crouch in the dark, heart pounding, the gravel like broken glass beneath my knees. There's nothing left of him, but I press my hands to the fence anyway. I whisper, "Why?" No answer, just wind, soft and cold. I wait a long time. Then I rise, and I begin to live. I survived the war. Sachsenhausen. Liberation. Return. I find Helena. She looks 20 years older. Our sons do not recognize me at first. I tell them everything. About the commandant. About the bunker. About the priest. I say his name over and over again. Colby, Colby. Colby. I say it like a prayer, like a debt I can never repay. I speak at churches, at schools, at prisons. I tell them the story of the man who gave me back my life, not because I earned it, not because I deserved it, but because he believed in something bigger. I stand beside popes. I weep at the foot of monuments. I kiss the earth outside his monastery. I say his name in every breath, because when the world was a furnace and men were reduced to numbers, he remembered we were still souls, and because he showed me what it meant to be saved, not just from death, but for life. Author's note. This story is based on true events from the life of Franciszek Gajonikiek, a Polish army sergeant who survived Auschwitz because another man, Father Maximilian Kolbe, volunteered to die in his place. While many of the details in this narrative have been dramatized for emotional depth and storytelling clarity, the core of what happened remains unchanged. In July 1941, after a fellow prisoner escaped Auschwitz, 10 men were chosen at random to die of starvation. When Franciszek was selected, he cried out about his wife and children. Father Kolbe stepped forward and asked to take his place. Kolbe endured 2 weeks in the starvation bunker, comforting and praying with the other men. He was ultimately killed by lethal injection. Franciszek survived the war and lived until 1995, spending the remainder of his life telling the story of the man who saved him, traveling, speaking, and honoring Kolbe's sacrifice at every opportunity. In recognition of his selfless act, Maximilian Kolbe was canonized by Pope John Paul II in 1982 and declared a martyr of charity. He is now venerated as Saint Maximilian Kolbe, the patron saint of prisoners and families. His life and death continue to inspire millions around the world. This story is told through Franciszek's eyes, not only to recount what happened, but to capture the burden and blessing of being the one who was saved. On a personal note, this is what it looks like when a person has truly experienced grace in their lives. While I have personally rejected religion as fanciful and dangerous, it is this precise lack of grace in those who have supposedly experienced what Franciszek did that fuels so much of my skepticism.